Intelligence services in the Royal Air Force are delivered by officers of the Royal Air Force Intelligence Branch and airmen from the Intelligence, Analyst Trade and Intelligence Analyst Trade. The specialisation has around 1,200 personnel of all ranks posted to operational air stations, HQs and other establishments of the British Armed Forces, both in the United Kingdom and overseas. History. The RAF Intelligence Branch dates back to 1939 following the outbreak of the Second World War. However, personnel have been employed in intelligence duties since the formation of the RAF in 1918. At the time, officers of the General Duties Branch performed the duty of Squadron Intelligence Officer, or aircrew on ground tours in the Air Ministry Intelligence Department. By the late 1939 there was a dedicated intelligence branch called the Administrative and Special Duties Branch. Additionally, in 1939, the Secret Intelligence Service established a dedicated air intelligence section under the command of Group Captain F.W. Winterbotham. During the Second World War, the intelligence branch became larger to encompass the signals intelligence staff at Bletchley Park and the imagery intelligence staff at RAF Medmenham. At the outbreak of war, the Air Ministry recognized the requirement for formalized intelligence training and established a number of courses to teach volunteer reserve officers the art of intelligence analysis. Much of this early training was very simplistic and did little more than introduce those to be employed in intelligence duties to the structure of the secretive organization and where sources came from. The first series of courses were held at Hibbett Road in Harrow starting on the 20th of November 1939. These were short courses of 7 days' duration, giving a broad picture of intelligence in commands, groups and stations. After 5 of these courses had run, the training was moved to 14 Ryder Street, St James, London. September 1940 saw another move back to Harrow to Fisher Road School, Wealdstone. Incorporated into the syllabus was the Advanced Intelligence course, designed for senior RAF intelligence officers from operational commands, and certain naval and army intelligence officers. The first of these courses started on the 28th of October 1940 and was 3 weeks in duration. This series continued without interruption and in 1942 developed into the RAF Intelligence School. In September 1942, the training school moved to Conwood Towers, Highgate. By this time it was clear to the air staff that intelligence was a positive and vital element affecting Air Ministry policy, strategy and planning. So the RAF Intelligence School was officially constituted and given a proper home at Conwood Towers. The site was set up as Royal Air Force Station Highgate around grounds and outbuildings of the Conwood estate. This included accommodation, massing, equipment stores and a medical centre. Because of the sensitivity of intelligence and covert operations during the war, the site was not made fully public and it operated under the guise of an RAF convalescence hospital. A number of different courses were run lasting between 3 weeks and 5 days, teaching air intelligence, escape and evasion, and basic intelligence analysis for direct entrance to intelligence work. The majority of the instruction was given by visiting specialists. The unit was soon awarded a badge as a proof of the high official regard for the value of the school. The badge consisted of a sphinx denoting wisdom, backed by a sun in splendor depicting elucidation, with the motto Praemonitis Praemunitis, which translates as "Forewarned is forearmed." In 1943, the unit was transferred for administrative purposes to No. 28 Group RAF under RAF Technical Training Command. Additional courses were added for security, air intelligence for RAF Bomber Command, a Far East course, and air intelligence for senior officers. During the period from November 1939 to September 1945, 7,086 officers of the British services attended over 372 courses. In late 1944, the school was hit twice by German V-1 flying bombs, causing damage to the buildings and injuring a number of staff. Following the end of the war, training continued at RAF Highgate until 1948, when the Air Ministry decided that the school should move to the Air Ministry building as they were requisitioning the property. The branch was split up into Administrative and Special Duties Branch and Administrative and Special Duties Branch, with no dedicated air intelligence specialization. In 1965, the three service intelligence departments were amalgamated in the new Defense Intelligence Service at the Ministry of Defense. Training at the RAF Intelligence School continued until 1969, teaching non-specialist officers the basics of intelligence. The role of Squadron Station Intelligence Officer was filled by members of the administrative branch as a sub-specialization. On the 2nd of August 1969, the RAF Intelligence School was officially closed and intelligence training was transferred to the School of Service Intelligence at Ashford, Kent. In the 1950s, the Photographic Interpretation Branch was formed for commissioned officers to be employed at the Reconnaissance Intelligence Centers, attached to aircraft units, and also to work at the Joint Air Reconnaissance Intelligence Center at RAF Brampton. By the start of the 1990s, the RAF could see the benefit of an independent intelligence branch, creating the GD branch. They required more information and warning on the potential enemies around the world in order to maintain the diminishing RAF's ability to react. In 1997, GD became the operations support specialization that is in existence today. However, training for officers focused on imagery analysis with general intelligence being taught at Ashford on a 3-week course at the Defense Intelligence and Security School, the renamed SSI. The first professional air intelligence course was run in the Air Intelligence Wing of DIS in 2000. Following the school's move to Chick Sands in Bedfordshire, after the first 2 courses, the Royal Navy was invited to send officers to attend, and the course was renamed the Joint Air Intelligence Course. In 2005, DIS became part of the Defence College of Intelligence, and the Air Intelligence Wing was renamed Horus Training Delivery Wing. Following a reorganization in 2007, the structure was changed again, and the Defense School of Intelligence was set up with Air Intelligence Wing as a sub-organization as the Phase 2 training unit for all RAF Intelligence Analyst Airmen, RAF Intelligence Officers, plus as a Phase 3 training unit for RAF Intelligence Analyst NCOs and Royal Navy and British Army officers employed in air intelligence duties. Training. Entrance to the specialization undertake common training at RAF College Cranwell for officers and RAF Halton for airmen. Following initial training, entrants are posted to the Joint Intelligence Training Group Chick Sands in Shefford, Bedfordshire for specialist training. The Air Intelligence Wing of the Defence School of Intelligence delivers the Joint Air Intelligence course to officers and the Operational Air Intelligence course to airmen. These courses prepare the individual for posting to intelligence roles. After completion of the first tour of duty, airmen can choose to further specialize in imagery as signals analysis. These Phase 2 specialist courses are delivered in the joint environment alongside intelligence specialists of the Royal Navy, British Army and Ministry of Defence civil servants. Further training courses are provided throughout career career in intelligence mission support, collections management, cyber warfare, human intelligence, PSYOPs, ISR management, including the QWI-ISR course and targeting. Staff roles and trades. Entrants to the branch are initially trained as general intelligence analysts and can later subspecialize in one of a number of trades. Personnel in each subspecialization can be employed in a number of locations. Officer subspecialization: Generalist Air Intelligence Officer, Squadron Intelligence Officer, Station Intelligence Officer, Air Intelligence Center Analyst. Staff Officer, JFC, JFIG, PJHQ, Air Command, AWC, 1 Group, JFACHQ. Command Officer, Intelligence, Surveillance and AMP, Reconnaissance Manager, Collections Manager, Human Intelligence Operator, Targeteer, Kinetic Targets and Information Operations. Airmen, Non-Commissioned Officer Subspecialization: Generalist Air Intelligence Analyst, Generalist Joint Intelligence Analyst, Imagery Analyst, Mission Intelligence Coordinator, Signal Intelligence Analyst, Human Intelligence Operator, Linguist. As with all RAF trades and subspecializations, personnel can be employed in a range of locations within the trade or in the wider organization. These can include Defense Intelligence Staff, Operational HQ Intelligence PJHQ, JFACHQ, NATO, Other Service Exchange, Air Warfare Center, Joint Force Intelligence Group, Defense Intelligence Fusion Center, Station Intelligence, Air Command Flying Stations, Squadron Intelligence, Flying Squadrons, Defense HUMINT Unit. Instructional duties. Heads of RAF Intelligence. Heads of RAF Intelligence have been Air Vice Marshal Charles E. H. Medhurst, Air Vice Marshal Francis F. Inglis, Air Vice Marshal Sir Thomas W. Elmhurst, Air Vice Marshal Lawrence F. Pendrad, Air Vice Marshal Neil C. Ogilvie Forbes, Air Vice Marshal Francis J. Fres-Onges, Air Vice Marshal William M. L. MacDonald, Air Vice Marshal Sidney O. Bufton, Air Vice Marshal Alec Ford Kelsey, Air Vice Marshal Harold J. Maguire. Notable current members of RAF Intelligence: Corporal Ryan Wheel, UK powerlifting champion; Sergeant Paul Farthing, star of the RAF TV advert Be Part of the Story. Notable former members of RAF Intelligence: Constance Babington Smith, MBE, Legion of Merit, FRSL, author and AMP journalist; Nora Nayat Khan, GC, WAAF section officer and SOE agent during WW2, killed in action in France, posthumously awarded the George Cross; Sarah Churchill, actress and Winston Churchill's daughter; Peter Calvo-Cressy, British lawyer, historian and publisher; Michael Benteen CBE, comedian and AMP actor; Sir Christopher Lee CBE CSDJ, actor; Pam Ayres MBE, poet, comedian, songwriter and AMP presenter; Alex Kumar, former British Olympic women's skeleton bobsledder, bronze medalist 2002 Winter Olympics; Cecil Gould, art historian and former deputy director of the National Gallery; Sir Max Malone CBE, archaeologist and the second husband of Agatha Christie; Dennis Wheatley, author; Tony Scannell, actor; Jackie Gunn, British bobsledder, silver medalist in 2005 World Championships; F.R. Chappell, author; F.W. Winterbotham, author. Notable former military members: Air Chief Marshal Sir Claude Pally, Air Chief Marshal Sir John Steele, Air Marshal Sir Victor Goddard, Air Vice Marshal Alan Ritchie, Air CDRE Archibald Boyle MCOBECMG, WW2 Director RAF Intelligence and SOE Director of Intelligence and AMP Security; Teddy Pilley, RAF Intelligence Officer and Linguist at Bletchley Park; Squadron LDRM, J. Stanley, last officer commanding of the RAF Intelligence School. Notable members of RAF Intelligence in fiction: Skull Sultan, character in Derek Robinson's Piece of Cake. FLTLT Sandy MacDonald, RAF Intelligence character in The Great Escape played by Gordon Jackson. Terence Alexander, played an RAF Intelligence officer in the 1957 film The One That Got Away.